A Social Science Organization Guide. Chapter 1. A Social Science Organization Guide. The major social science organizations. American Anthropological Association, AAA. 2300 Clarendon Boulevard, Suite 1301. Arlington, Virginia 22201-3398. 703-528-1902. Members at americanaanthru.org. americanaanthru.org. American Historical Association, AHA. 400 A Street, SE. Washington, D.C. 20003-3889. 202-544-2422. info@historians.org. historians.org. American Sociological Association, ASA. 1430 K Street, NW, Suite 600. Washington, D.C. 20005-2529. 202-383-9005. info@asanet.org. asanet.org. Archaeological Institute of America, AIA. 656 Beacon Street, 6th floor. Boston, Massachusetts 02215-2006. 617-353-9361. Archaeological.org. Association of American Geographers, AAG. 1710 16th Street, NW. Washington, D.C. 20009-3198. 202-234-1450. Membership at aag.org. aag.org. Earthwatch Institute. 114 Western Avenue. Boston, Massachusetts 02134-1037. 800-776-0188. info@earthwatch.org. earthwatch.org. Society for Applied Anthropology, SFAA. POG 2436. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73101-2436. 405-843-5113. info@sfaa.net. sfaa.net. World Monuments Watch. wmf.org. A few social science professional organizations. nssa.us, National Social Science Association. apsanet.org, American Political Science Association. aeaweb.org, American Economic Association. uft.org/committees/ATSS, Association of Teachers of Social Studies. socialstudies.org, National Council for the Social Studies. Historians.org, American Historical Association. Networks.age-net.org, AgeNet. Resources for social sciences students and professionals. SSHA.org, Social Science History Association. AAG.org, American Association of Geographers. CASA.org, Consortium of Social Science Associations. AAPSS.org, American Academy of Political and Social Science. Planning.org, American Planning Association. ASANet.org, American Sociological Association. CASA.org, American Sociological Association. NSSA.us, National Social Science Association. se-alliance.org/home, Social Enterprise Alliance. SSHA.org, Social Science History Association. aeaweb.org, the American Economic Association. OpenCourseWare. ocw.mit.edu. Coursera.org. Chapter 2. Lists of social sciences associations, organizations, and societies. General Social Sciences Associations, Organizations, and Societies. asa.edu.au, Academy of the Social Sciences in Australia. tsbd.org.tr, Turk Sosyal Bilimlerden and number 287, Turkish Social Science Association, in Turkish and English, TSBD. cas.net.cn. Zhenkyoshi, Hui. Kixuyua, N. Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, in Chinese, CAS. Chapter 3. Lists of social science subfield organizations. Anthropology associations, organizations, and societies. AAAnet.org, American Anthropological Association. AEE.gr. Anthropologikai Teria Elidus, Anthropological Association of Greece, in Greek and English. Abant.org.br, Associação Brasileira de Antropologia, Brazilian Association of Anthropology, in Portuguese. CSA.ca, Canadian Sociology and Anthropology Association, Société Canadienne de Sociologie et d'Anthropologie, in English and French, CSAA, SCSA. Folkart.org, Folk Art Society of America. IACCP.org, International Association for Cross-Cultural Psychology, IACP. ISCAR.org, International Society for Cultural and Activity Research, ISCAR. LeidenUniversity.nl/FSW/IUAES, International Union of Anthropological and Ethnological Sciences, Union Internationale des Sciences Anthropologiques et Ethnologiques, in English, IUES, UCI. Massey.ac.nz/tilde/nzsorg/nzasa/nzasa.htm, New Zealand Association of Social Anthropologists, NZASA. Therai.org.uk, Royal Anthropological Institute of Great Britain and Ireland. SIARB-BOLIVIA.org, Sociedad de Investigación del Arte Rupestre de Bolivia, Bolivian Rock Art Research Society, in Spanish, English and German. SFAA.net, Society for Applied Anthropology, SFAA. arts.ualberta.ca/LJUBLGen, Society for Slovene Studies, Slovene Literature, Linguistics, History, Ethnography. Sexscience.org, Society for the Scientific Study of Sexuality, SSSS. Archaeology associations, organizations, and societies. Antiquarisch.ch, Antiquarische Gesellschaft in Zurich, Antiquarian Society in Zurich, in German. Archaeological.org, Archaeological Institute of America. ASBC.bc.ca, Archaeological Society of British Columbia, ASBC. Archéologie.qc.ca, Association des Archéologues du Québec, Association of Archaeologists of Quebec, in French, AAQ. AAS.net, the Assyrian Academic Society, the fields of Assyriology, Near Eastern and Syriac Studies. BRITARCH.ac.uk/BAA, British Archaeological Association. CanadianArchaeology.com, Canadian Archaeological Association, Association Canadienne d'Archéologie, in English and French, CAA, ACA. DARV.de, Deutsche Arch- und Aumel, Allergenverband, German Archaeologists Union, in German, DARV. E-A-org, European Association of Archaeologists, in English, EAA. INDarchaeology.org, Indian Archaeological Society, in English. arts.anu.edu.au/arcworld/IPPA/IPPA.hdm, Indo-Pacific Prehistory Association, IPPA. Academic.be, Koninklijke Academie voor Audithaken van België en Umel. Académie Royale d'Archéologie de Belgique, Royal Academy of Archaeology of Belgium, in Dutch, French, and English. Concerns scientific research in the fields of archaeology, history of art and related. arpanet.org, Register of Professional Archaeologists, RPA. RoyalArchaeolInst.org, Royal Archaeological Institute. RSAI.ie, Royal Society of Antiquaries of Ireland, RSAI. LASAN.be, Société Archéologique de Namur, Archaeological Society of Namur, in French. Société Archéotouraine.eu, Société Archéologique de Touraine, Archaeological Society of Touraine, in French. societes-savantes.asso.fr/samf Société archéologique du Midi de la France, Archaeological Society of the South of France, in French and English, SAMF. archeologie-senlis.org, Société d'Histoire et d'Archéologie de Senlis, History and Archaeology Society of Senlis, in French and English. sao.asso.fr, Société des Antiquaires de l'Ouest, Society of Antiquaries of the West, in French. antiquaires-de-normandie.org, Société des Antiquaires de Normandie, Society of Antiquaries of Normandy, in French. sfarchéologie.com, Société Française d'Archéologie, French Society of Archaeology, in French, SFA. srab.be, Société Royale d'Archéologie de Bruxelles, Royal Society of Archaeology of Brussels, in French, SRAB. saa.org, Society for American Archaeology, SAA. Society for East Asian Archaeology, the SEAA has abandoned its domain name eastasianarchaeology.org, and has SEAA. spma.org.uk, Society for Post-Medieval Archaeology, SPMA. newcastle-antiquaries.org.uk, Society of Antiquaries of Newcastle upon Tyne. spalding-gentlemen's-society.org, Spalding Gentlemen's Society, an English provincial society devoted to archaeology. Political science associations, organizations, and societies. asmp.fr, Académie des Sciences Morales et Politiques, Academy of Ethics and Political Science, in French. psqonline.org, Academy of Political Science. aaps.co.zw, African Association of Political Science, Association Africaine de Sciences Politiques, in English and French, AAPS, AASP. apsanet.org, American Political Science Association, APSA. accp.cl, Asociación Chilena de Ciencia Política, Chilean Association of Political Science, in Spanish. aecpa.es, Asociación Española de Ciencia Política y de la Administración, Spanish Association of Political and Administrative Science, in Spanish, ICPA. cienciapolitica.org.br, Associação Brasileira de Ciência e Política, Brazilian Association of Political Science, in Portuguese, ABCP. apcp.pt, Associação Portuguesa de Ciência Política, Portuguese Political Science Association, in Portuguese, APCP. cpsa-acsp.ca, Canadian Political Science Association, Association Canadienne de Science Politique, CPSA, ACSP. e-politika.cz, Česk Společnost pro politik v and No. 283, dy, Czech Political Science Association, in Czech and English, CSPV. dpsa.dk, Dansk Selskab for Statskunskab, Danish Political Science Association, in Danish, DPSA. dgfp.org, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Politikwissenschaft, German Society for Political Science, in German, DGFP. dvpw.de, Deutsche Vereinigung für Politische Wissenschaft, German Association for Political Science, in German, DVPW. fas.org, Federation of American Scientists. gpsnet.org, Georgia Political Science Association, GPSA. ipsa.ca, International Political Science Association, Association Internationale de Science Politique, IPSA, AISP. isbp.org, International Society of Political Psychology. johnbuchansociety.co.uk, John Buchan Society, the Society is concerned with the life and work of the British novelist. KPSA.kz Kazakhstanskaya Associatsiya Politayskoye Nauki, Kazakhstan Political Science Association in Russian and English, KSPA. KKRVA.se, Kungliga Krigsvetenskapsakademien, Royal Swedish Academy of War Sciences in Swedish and English, Krva. LPASOC.lt, Lietuvos Politolog and No. 371. Associacija, Lithuanian Political Science Association, in Lithuanian, LPA. MPTT.hu, Magyar Politika Tudományi Társaság, Hungarian Political Science Association, in Hungarian, MPTT. MWPSA.org, Midwest Political Science Association, MPSA. Politicologie.nl, Nederlandse Kring voor Wetenschap der Politiek, Dutch Political Science Association in Dutch and English, NKWP. Statsvitenskap.org, Norsk Statsvitenskapelig Forening, Norwegian Political Science Association, in Norwegian, NSF. lclark.edu/PNWPSA, Pacific Northwest Political Science Association, NWPSA. PSA.ac.uk, Political Studies Association, also known as Political Studies Association of the United Kingdom. PSAI.ie, Political Studies Association of Ireland, PSAI. Rapen.ru. Rossijskaya Associatsiya Politayskoye Nauki, Russian Political Science Association, in Russian, RAPN. Sisb.it, Societe Italiana di Scienza Politica, Italian Society of Political Science, in Italian, SISP. Société d'économie politique.fr, Société d'économie politique, Society of Political Economy, in French. Psychology Associations, Organizations and Societies. OBST.org, American Association of Brief and Strategic Therapists, OBST. AGPA.org, American Group Psychotherapy Association, AGPA. APSA.org, American Psychoanalytic Association, APSAT. APA.org, American Psychological Association. PsychologicalScience.org, American Psychological Society. ASBPR.org, Asociación de Psicología de Puerto Rico, Asociación de Psicólogos de Puerto Rico, Association of Psychologists of Puerto Rico, in Spanish, APPR. APP-PANAMA.org, Asociación Panameña de Psicólogos, Asociación Panameña de Psicólogos, Panamanian Association of Psychologists, in Spanish, AP. APSI.ro, Asociația Psihologiilor din Rom and Circ, NIA, Asociația Psihologiilor din Romania, Romanian Psychologists Association, in Romanian, APR. abp.org.br, Associação Brasileira de Psicanálise, Brazilian Psychoanalysis Association, in Portuguese and English. appcentral.org, Association for Psychological Type, utilizing instruments such as the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, .apt. asdreams.org, Association for the Study of Dreams. ACCP.org.au, Australian College of Clinical Psychologists. Psychology.org.au, Australian Psychological Society. BDP-verband.org, Berufsverband Deutscher Psychologen und Psychologen, Association of German Professional Psychologists, in German, BDP. bop.or.at, Berufsverband Österreichischer Psychologen und Psychologen, Professional Association of Austrian Psychologists, in German, BOP. babcp.org.uk, British Association for Behavioural and Cognitive Psychotherapies, BOB. bps.org.uk, British Psychological Society. cpa.ca, Canadian Psychological Association, Société Canadienne de Psychologie, CPA, SCP. cscuzzy.org, Canadian Society for Computational Studies of Intelligence, Société Canadienne pour l'étude de l'intelligence par. Colegio Psicologos.cl, Colegio de Psicólogos de Chile, College of Psychologists of Chile, in Spanish, CPC. COP.es, Colegio Oficial de Psicólogos, Spanish Psychological Association, in Spanish, COP. DP.dk, Dansk Psykologforening, Danish Psychological Association, in Danish, DP. DGPS.de, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Psychologie, German Psychological Society, in English and German, DGPs. Sexology.org, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Sozialwissenschaftliche Sexualforschung, German Society for Social Scientific Sex Research, in German with some English, DGSS. Psychology-bg.org. EasternPsychological.org, Eastern Psychological Association, Eastern, easternu.s.a, EPA. EPARANM.org. Egyptian Psychologists Association, in Arabic, RANM, EPA. EA-OHP.org, European Academy of Occupational Health Psychology. EAPP.org, European Association of Personality Psychology, EAPP. EAPA-HOMEPAGE.org, European Association of Psychological Assessment, EAPA. ESCOP.org, European Society for Cognitive Psychology, in English, ESCOP. HIMPSI.org, Himpunan Psikologi Indonesia, Indonesian Psychological Association, in Indonesian and English, HIMPSI. Psychologija.hr, Hrvatsko Psyhala and number 353, Ko Drew and number 353, TiVo, Croatian Psychological Society, in Serbo-Croatian, HPD. ISABS.org, Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Science, in English, ISABS. IAAPSI.org, International Association of Applied Psychology, Association Internationale de Psychologie Appliquée, IAAP, AIPA. Reading.org, International Reading Association. ISBWeb.org, International Society for Psychophysics. ISSD.org, International Society for the Study of Dissociation, Research in, Diagnosis of, and Treatment of Dissociative Disorders, for example, Multiple Personality Disorder, ISSD. ISSID.org, International Society for the Study of Individual Differences, ISID. ISLS.org, International Society of the Learning Sciences. ITAA-NET.org, International Transactional Analysis Association. IUPSIS.org, International Union of Psychological Science, Union Internationale de Psychologie Scientifique, mostly in English. Some French, IUPSI. Psychoanalysis.org.il. Israel Psychoanalytic Society, Israeli Psychoanalytic Society in Hebrew and English. Psychology.org.il. Israel Psychological Association, in Hebrew. Korean Psychology.or.kr, Korean Psychological Association, in Korean. MPT.hu, Magyar Psychology Törzség, Hungarian Psychological Association, in Hungarian, MPT. Synip.nl, Netherlands Instituut van Psychologen, Dutch Institute of Psychologists, in Dutch. The Professional Association of Psychologists in the Netherlands, NIP. NVNeuropsy.nl, Nederlandse Vereniging voor Neuropsychology, Netherlands Society for Neuropsychology, in Dutch. Psychology.org.nz, New Zealand Psychological Society, NZPSS. Psychol.no, Norsk Psykologforening, Norwegian Psychological Association, in Norwegian, NPF. Psy.gr. Panhellenios Psychologikos Syllogos, Pan-Hellenic Psychological Association, in Greek, PPSS, PSA. Parapsych.org, Parapsychological Association. PsyHQ.org, Psychological Society of Ireland, Cuman Sisalath in English. Cissa.co.za, Psychological Society of South Africa, in English, CISSA. Psychonomic.org, Psychonomic Society, Scientific Research in Psychology and Allied Sciences. ssp-sgp.ch, Schweizerische Gesellschaft für Psychologie, Société Suisse de Psychologie, Swiss Psychological Society, in English, German and French, SGP, SSP. Hypnosisclinica.org, Sociedad de Hipnoterapia Clínica, Clinical Hypnotherapy Society, in Spanish. Psicologia.org.mx, Sociedad Mexicana de Psicología, Mexican Psychological Society, in Spanish, SMP. sbponline.org.br, Sociedade Brasileira de Psicologia, Brazilian Psychological Society, in Portuguese. sips.it, Société Italiana di Psicologia, Italian Society of Psychology, in Italian, SIPS. bvp-sbp.be, Société Belgique de Psychologie, Belgische Vereniging voor Psychologie, Belgian Psychological Society, in English, SBP, BVP, BPS. Graphologie.asso.fr, Société Française de Graphologie, French Society of Graphology, in French and English. Concerned with the study of personality through handwriting, SFDG. sfpsi.org, Société Française de Psychologie, French Society of Psychology, in French. slp.lu, Société Luxembourgeoise de Psychologie, Luxembourg Psychological Society, in French. pantheon.yale.edu/tat22, Society for a Science of Clinical Psychology, SSCP. sbsb.org, Society for Personality and Social Psychology, SPSP. sbrweb.org, Society for Psychophysiological Research. sbssi.org, Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues. The Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues constitutes Division 9 of the American Psychological Association, SPSI. sun.soci.niu.edu/SSBP, Southern Society for Philosophy and Psychology. cypsa.org.cy. Sundesmos Psichologos Kypro, Cyprus Psychologists Association, in Greek. Psychologförbundet.se, Sveriges Psykologförbund, Swedish Psychological Association, in Swedish. psycholog.org.tr, Turk Psykologlardern and No. 287, I, Turkish Psychological Association, in Turkish and English, TPD, TPA. hkps.org.hk. Ziyanggang Zinli Suohui. Hong Kong Psychological Society, in English, HKPS. cpsbeijing.org. Zhenqiu Zinli Suohui. Chinese Psychological Society, in Chinese. Recreation and Leisure Studies Associations, Organizations, and Societies. Academy of Leisure Sciences.org, Academy of Leisure Sciences. AALR.org, American Association for Leisure and Recreation, an association of the American Alliance for Health, Physical Education. AALR. BASL.org, British Association for Sport and the Law, British Association for Sport and Law. FIMS.org, Fédération Internationale de Médecine Sportive, International Federation of Sports Medicine, in English. NRPA.org, National Recreation and Park Association, NRPA. WorldLeisure.org, World Leisure and Recreation Association, WLRA. Sociology Associations, Organizations, and Societies. ASANet.org, American Sociological Association. APSIOT.pt, Associação Portuguesa de Profissionais em Sociologia and Uacute, Striol, das Organizações e do Trabalho, Portuguese Association for Sociology of Industry, Organizations and Work web page, in Portuguese, APSIAT. HumanistSoci.org, Association for Humanist Sociology, AHS. Britsoc.org.uk, British Sociological Association. CSA.ca, Canadian Sociology and Anthropology Association, Société Canadienne de Sociologie et d'Anthropologie in English and French. Sociologie.dk, Dansk Sociologforening, Danish Sociological Association, in Danish, DSF. Sociologie.de, Deutsche Gesellschaft für Soziologie, German Society for Sociology, in German, DGS. Europeansociology.org, European Sociological Association. INSANE.org, International Network for Social Network Analysis, Professional Association for Researchers Interested in Social Network Analysis, INSNA. ucm.es/info/isa, International Sociological Association, Association Internationale de Sociologie, Asociación Internacional de Sociología, in English, French, and Spanish, ISA, ACE, ACE. MidSouthSoci.org, Mid-South Sociological Association. NASWDC.org, National Association of Social Workers, New Zealand Association of Social Anthropologists. NCSANet.org, North Central Sociological Association, NCSA. PacificSoci.org, Pacific Sociological Association. RuralSociology.org, Rural Sociological Society. AppliedSoci.org, Society for Applied Sociology. SANZ.rsnz.org, Sociological Association of Aotearoa, New Zealand, SANZ. mstate.edu/org/sss/sss.html, Southern Sociological Society. Sociology.gr. Sologos Elino en Koinoniologon, Hellenic Sociological Association, in Greek and English. Sociology.org.cy. Sundesmos Koinoniologon Kypro, Cyprus Sociological Association, in Greek. Area Studies and Time Period Studies Associations, Organizations, and Societies. apsanet.org/ps/organizations/area, Area Studies Organizations, maintained by the American Political Science Association, APSA. AAASS.org, American Association for the Advancement of Slavic Studies, AOS. Theasa.net, American Studies Association. CYMMRODORION1751.org.uk, Anreditus Jim Dythas y Simrod Orion, Honourable Society of Simrod Orion, in Welsh and English. The Society promotes the literature, the arts, and sciences insofar as they are of special interest to Wales, the Welsh people and those interested in Wales. AsiaticSocietyCal.com, Asiatic Society, in English. Founded in Calcutta in 1784. AsiaticSociety.org, Asiatic Society of Mumbai, Asiatic Society of Bombay, in English. AsiaNSD.org, Association for Asian Studies. ACJS-AEJC.ca, Association for Canadian Jewish Studies, Association d'études juives canadiennes, in English. ACSUs.org, Association for Canadian Studies in the U.S., its central mission is to promote greater understanding of Canada by educating students about Canada's political system, economy, history, geography, and cultural heritage, ACSIS. Egyptianists.org.uk, Association of Hispanists of Great Britain and Ireland, OGBI. AAS.net, Assyrian Academic Society, the fields of Assyriology, Near Eastern, and Syriac Studies. BrasaUS.org, Brazilian Studies Association, in English, Brasa. Canadian-studies.info, British Association for Canadian Studies, BACS. BSCCS.org.uk, British Society for 18th Century Studies, BSEX. CSMS.ca, Canadian Society for Mesoamerican Studies, Société Canadienne d'études Mesoaméricaines, Sociedad Canadiense de Estudios Mesoamericanos, in English, CSMS, SEM. CUTG.ac.uk, Conference of University Teachers of German in Great Britain and Ireland, a scholarly society concerned with the teaching of German language and dgej.hab.de, Deutsche Gesellschaft für die Erforschung des 18. Jahrhunderts, German Society for 18th Century Studies, in German, DGEJ. ECIS.ie, 18th Century Ireland Society, Cuman Era San Oct and Uakut. Sad Diag, in English. EAJS.org, European Association for Japanese Studies, EAJS. G-S-A.org, German Studies Association, includes German, Austrian, and Swiss studies. IAE.LMU.de, International Association of Egyptologists, Association Internationale des Egyptologues, Internationaler and Almel, Egyptologenverband, IAE, AIE, IAV. ICCS-CIEC.ca, International Council for Canadian Studies, Conseil International d'études canadiennes, ICCS, SEEK. mbras.org.my, Malaysian branch of the Royal Asiatic Society, a learned society devoted to the task of collecting, recording and diffusing information about Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei. Mbras. Media Evistenverband.de, Medi and Almel, Wistenverband, Medievalists Society, in German, English and French. Mediterraneanstudies.org, Mediterranean Studies Association, in English. Middle East Medievalists.org. Middle East Medievalists, MEM. Nakov Tovarstvo and Igrave, M. End number 352, Ivinka, Shevchenko Scientific Society, in English, with some Ukrainian. It is the oldest Ukrainian Academy of Arts and Sciences whose activities have been the mainstay of Ukrainian culture for the last 120 years. Founded in 1873 in the city of Lviv, Ukraine, it was liquidated by the Soviet regime in 1939 and re-established in Western Europe in 1947, in the United States in 1949, and in Ukraine in 1989. AsJapan.org. Neon Asia KY and number 333, Kai, Asiatic Society of Japan, in English. NACPS.org, North American Conference on British Studies, despite the name this is a scholarly society, NACPS. R-S-A.org, Renaissance Society of America. R3.org, Richard III Society, The Life and Times of King Richard III of England, 1452–1485, R3S. RoyalAsiaticSociety.org.hk, Royal Asiatic Society Hong Kong Branch, in English, RASCP. RASCB.com. Royal Asiatic Society Korea Branch, in English, RASCP. RoyalAsiaticSociety.org, Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland, RASCBI. 1700-tal.se, S. and Almel, Lskapet for 1700 tals Studier, Swedish Society for 18th Century Studies, in Swedish. 16thcentury.org, 16th Century Society and Conference, SCSC. Tessitori.org, Societe Indologica Luigi Pio Tessitori, Indological Society named for Luigi Pio Tessitori, the aim of promoting scientific research in the field of Indological, Indian studies in collaboration with institutions both in Italy and abroad. In English, with some Italian. uni-leipzig.de/Jablanoviana, Societas Jablanoviana, Jablanowskis Gesellschaft der Wissenschaften zu Leipzig, Jablanowski Society, in German. This society, originally concerned with mathematics, physics, economics, and Polish/Slavic history, is now devoted primarily to promoting Polish studies in the German-speaking world. ibel.fr/fr/acie/home.html, Société Asiatique, Asiatic Society, in French. docsrvr.ish-lyon.cnrs.fr/sfeds, Société Française d'études du XVIIe siècle, Société Française d'études du XVIIIe siècle, Société Française d'études du XVIIIe siècle, French Society for 18th Century Studies, in French, SFEDS. SIEFAR.org, Société Internationale pour l'étude des femmes de l'Ancien Régime, International Association for the Study of Women in the Ancien Régime, in French, CIFR. armenianstudies.csu.fresno.edu/sas, Society for Armenian Studies. The aims of the Society for Armenian Studies are to promote the study of Armenian culture and society, including history, language, literature, and social, political, and economic questions. sccm.org, Society for 18th Century Music. iranian-studies.org, Society for Iranian Studies. slas.org.uk, Society for Latin American Studies, based in the UK, SLAs. sbma.org.uk, Society for Post-Medieval Archaeology. Scandinavianstudy.org, Society for the Advancement of Scandinavian Study, SAS. Byzantium.ac.uk, Society for the Promotion of Byzantine Studies, SPBS. SocietyofEarlyAmericanists.org, Society of Early Americanists. The society is concerned with the study of the literature and culture of the United States of America to approximately 1,800. Futurazociety.fi, Tulavisudan Tudkamuxensura, Finnish Society for Futures Studies, S. and Almel, Skapit for Framtidsstudier, in Finnish and English, TDS. WFS.org, World Future Society, WFS. WFSF.org, World Futures Studies Federation, WFSF. Europeanstudies.org. Zanqiuouzhousuhui, Chinese Association for European Studies, in Chinese and English. Women/Gender Studies Associations, Organizations, and Societies. tap.mils.edu/scripts/organizations.tcl, organizations, maintained by the ADA Project, TAP, at Mills College. Concentrates on societies dealing with women's issues in computer science, mathematics, science, and engineering. AAUW.org, American Association of University Women, AAUW. WOMCOM.org, Association for Women in Communications. CFUW.org, Canadian Federation of University Women, Fédération Canadienne des Femmes Diplômées au Cirque, Mise des Universities, in English and French, CFUW, FFTU. KVAK.DK, Foreningen Kvindelig Akademikere, Association of Female Academics in Denmark, in Danish and English, KVAK. Genderandeducation.com, Gender and Education Association. IAPH-PHILO.org, International Association of Women Philosophers, Internationale Association von Philosophinnen, in English and German. IFUW.org, International Federation of University Women, Fédération Internationale des Femmes Diplômées au Cirque, Mise des Universities, in English, IFUW, FIFTU. Unifem.ch, Schweizerischer Verband der Akademikerinnen, Association Suisse des Femmes Diplômées au Cirque, Mise des Universities, Association Svizzera del Laureate, Association Svizzera de las Académicas, in German and French, SVA, ASFDU, ASL, ASA. L'Ancien Régime, International Association for the Study of Women in the Ancien Régime, in French.